Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. This is the second part of my lecture 1 for the class of BSc as part 2. The topic is sampling techniques. Sampling techniques. Probability or random sampling techniques. When each unit in a population has a known non-zero probability of its being included in the sample, the sampling is said to be probability sampling. Probability sampling is also called random sampling. The advantage of probability sampling is that it provides a valid estimate of sampling error. Probability sampling is widely used in industries, agriculture, business, etc. Non-probability or non-random sampling techniques. A non-probability sampling is also called non-random sampling. Is a process in which the personal judgment determines which units of the population are selected for a sample. The disadvantage of non-probability sampling is that the reliability of the sample results cannot be determined in terms of probability. Types of probability or random sampling techniques. Number 1, simple random sampling. Number 2, stratified random sample. Number 3, systematic random sample. Number 4, cluster sample. Number 5, multi-stage sample. Number 6, multi-phase sample. Number 7, sequential sample. Types of non-probability or non-random sampling techniques. Number 1, purposive sample. Number 2, quota sample. Now we describe each type of the probability random sampling techniques. Number 1, simple random sample. A simple random sample is also known as unrestricted random sample. A sample is defined to be a simple random sample if it is selected in such a manner that number 1, each unit in the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. Number 2, each possible sample of the same size has an equal chance of being the sample selected. Important advantage of simple random sample is that it provides unbiased estimates of the population mean, population totals, and sampling variances of the estimates. Number 2, stratified random sample. A sample of size n is defined to be a stratified random sample if it is selected from a population which has been divided into a number of subpopulations called strata, such that part of the sample is drawn at random from each stratum. A population may be stratified according to the size, such as large, medium, and small, to the administrative grouping, such as urban and rural, to the natural characteristics such as age group, sex, family size, occupation, and education. The advantage of stratified random sampling is low cost, greater accuracy, and better coverage. Number 3, systematic random sample. A sample of size n is defined to be systematic random sample if it is obtained by selecting one unit at random from the first k units and thereafter selecting every kth unit after the n units. If the population have serially numbered from 1 to n and are arranged in systematic manner. The advantage of systematic sampling is that it saves much time and effort, it is economical, and it is easily selected. Number 4, cluster sample. A random sample is said to be cluster sample if the population is divided into group of individual units called clusters and one or more clusters are chosen at random. The advantage of cluster sampling is that it saves cost and time. Cluster sampling is used when the sampling frames of adequate coverage are not available. The variations among the clusters are smaller than the variations within the clusters. Number 5, multi-stage sampling. A sample is called multi-stage sample when it is selected in stages. The sample units at each stage being some sampled from larger units selected at previous stage. For example, in a sample survey, we select a random sample of N1 district, then we take a subsample of N2 village. Again, we select the subsample of N3 household from each of these selected villages and so on. Advantage of multi-stage sampling is that only the parts of the population chosen at any stage need to be listed for sampling. Number 6, multi-phase sample. A sample is called multi-phase sample when certain items of information are collected from all the units in a sample and other items of usually more detailed information are collected from a subsample of the units composing the original sample. The advantage of multi-phase sampling is that it can prove cheaper and it reduces the burden on respondents. Sequential sample. A sample is called sequential sample where the sample size is not fixed in advance but sampling units are drawn one by one or in lots and the decision is based on a definite rule relating to the sampling units themselves. The advantage of sequential sampling is that it is good for reaching decisions rapidly. Now we discuss the non-probability sampling. A non-probability sample is also called judgment sample. Number 1, purposive sample. A purposive sample is a non-random sample in which the selection of the sampling units is based on person's expertise about the population. A purposive sample is liable to bias, can also be appropriate when a population contains relatively few large units whose characteristics are known. Its main use, however, is in economics and business statistics. Number 2, quota sample. A quota sample is usually a sample of human being in which the information is collected purposefully from the segments of the population. For example, the quotas of men and women, urban and rural, upper, middle and lower income groups, etc. These factors are called quota controls. The advantage of quota sampling is that it is cheaper, it is easy administratively, and it is very quick form of investigation. Quota sampling is widely used in public opinion polls and market research surveys. Now we are going to the assignment. Question number 1. What is sampling? Describe its advantages and usage. Question number 2. Define and distinguish between A. Probability and non-probability sampling, B. Random sampling and simple random sampling. Question number 3. Describe in detail various probability and non-probability sampling techniques. Thank you, dear students. Inshallah, we will meet again. Thank you.